Former NBA center Enes Kanter Freedom kicked out of Sunday night's WNBA game between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky after getting into a heated argument with Natasha Cloud. It happened during the third quarter. He was sitting courtside in a shirt that read, quote, "Woman noun, adult human, female." Freedom has been a vocal opponent to transgender athletes in women's sports, declared himself eligible for the 2027 WNBA draft. This is all in an effort to challenge the league's policy regarding gender. Brian Hamilton, a senior writer at The Athletic, good to talk to you. So Enes Kanter Freedom is no stranger to controversy, likes a little fire. So who is he? What's he trying to do in this case?
Well, he's a former NBA player. He spent 11 years in the league, averaged about 11 points per game over 700 plus games in the league with 5 different teams. But besides that, he's always been a pretty outspoken guy when it came to human rights, international issues. He spoke out very strongly against the government in his home country of Turkey. He spoke out against the NBA's relationship with China over human rights issues when he was in the league. And in fact, when he got released in February of 2022, effectively ending his career in the league, he cited those views, those anti-China views, as part of the reason for the release, which the NBA, of course, at that point denied strongly. But now he sort of stepped into this other space, the protect women's sports space. He's been a vocal critic of transgender athletes playing in women's sports. And yesterday he was front and center at Wintrust Arena for a very prominent game between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky.
So this all started with comments made by Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham, who also played in last night's game, when she told ESPN that she wants to, quote, protect young girls in a locker room setting, or young girls in sports who shouldn't have to go against biological men. That's a close quote there. So have we heard anything from the league on this? And really, the big question is, what is the WNBA going to do to address this, and where does all of this stand?
I don't know if there's really anything to address unless they want to, kind of put a little more clarity in their overall policy as a league. Look, I've been on the ground with the Fever for the last couple weeks. I was in Brooklyn on Saturday night when there was another rally on both sides. The people who support transgender athletes and the people who are against transgender athletes, playing in women's sports. It was pretty tepid. I mean, there's not a lot of people there rallying. What is being perceived as this giant movement on the outside is rather unintrusive when you're on the ground and in reality. And obviously, last night was a different case, and Enes Kanter Freedom and Natasha Cloud have some history in online back and forth. But overall, I think the league is, if anything, more just annoyed by this distraction and moving forward. This is really not an issue that should be taking away the attention of the product on the floor. Even in the arenas, inside the arenas, outside the arenas, it is not that intrusive a problem for the WNBA right now.
Yeah, the WNBA commanding the heat right now, white hot. A lot of people say it's a long time coming, but also now issues at the forefront because of somebody bringing it there in front of that white hot spotlight. Brian Hamilton, thank you so much. Good to talk to you.